March 11th, we were open and we had about 100 employees, and March 12th, we were closed, and everyone kind of scattered.
I think it is, heightened and magnified fears and anxieties, some of which some of us had prior, and this is like a magnifying glass on some of those like mental health challenges. And at the same time, I would say it has, deepened bonds and brought the teams together as we're all doing everything we can to look out for each other.
Sales went down to, zero, when we had to close. That very first week we were able to do delivery with Postmates because we were already set up doing it book. So our sales in the bookstore came back like literally 10%. I mean, we're down 90% in the bookstore, and then the restaurant was closed. So that was 0%. And then with Fedwich open, we were still down, 90% in the restaurant. I mean, it was anemic sales. It was really enough to, kind of make a small payroll and keep people on board. It was not sustainable by any means. It was more of just a means of how can we keep our staff with some hours, keep the great people here, and then hope for some relief package.
So we opened our outdoor areas, and now we are allowed to have a certain amount of people indoors and outdoors, and so since then we're just kind of in survival mode. We've laid off about 75% of our staff. Sales are off about 75%, and we're just trying to keep the doors open until we can get through this. Restaurants are kind of like a family, and you guys, it's a difficult work environment, and you get really close with people, and then all of a sudden now it's just, I've never seen anything like it. People are just gone. It's funny, I got a call from one employee who somehow managed to end up in California, and I was like, hey, I need a reference. I was like, no problem. But I was like, how are you? How did you get there? So it was a real shock to the system.
On a personal, level, it was just sad not to be, not to have staff, there, not to go to work and see, faces and see people, that we know. And also for the staff that we did bring back and operating in this environment, it's been really difficult. Especially in the summertime where it was close to 100 degrees outside, you're wearing a mask, you're running around outside. We made sure that our staff was staying hydrated. But it's difficult to communicate. It's hard to see that someone's smiling under a mask and to provide good service. But a lot of our guests were super understanding, and everybody's sort of it's not happened to just a few people. It's happened to all of us. So in that regard, people understand what's going on and they're adapting to it. But it's been extremely stressful for our staff and for all of us.
I feel like this too shall pass. Now, what does that mean? Who knows how tough? But I think it's this too shall pass, because now it represents a culture. I think it's a beacon of hope for a culture where people think, bands can't close. And it's not just because we serve hopefully great food. It's not just that. It's literally, it represents a city and a culture. You never want to say never, and you never want to be arrogant, like we're invincible. I never want to do that. But what I could say, anything possible that I can do to make sure it stays open and the family will do. That's what I would say. And we'll give it our best shot every day.